Well, hello. So, waiting on my Uber, and I figured I would make a video about the things I didn't get to say. So, I actually have, I was just recently on a podcast called The Six Figure Trucker, and there was many things that I wish I would have been able to get out to you guys that I was kind of saving up for it, but time didn't allow, and we only had like an hour to talk. So it was. I really wanted to know more about me, not necessarily about my contributions I try to give to y'all, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's the purpose of the podcast to get to know these guys that do this job. I did throw out some tidbits, but I figure I'll just make a video and let you know about it. Number one, time management. Like, I barely just got a load off because they locked the gates at 11 a.m. and I got done at 10:57. You got to know your pickup, your drop off, all of that stuff. You got to be in contact. You got to be able to do all that stuff, or else it won't flow. If you want to make money, you got to flow. You got to be able to get there, get it done, and get gone. Number two, contacts. Talk to everyone, because some guy has some story of where he screwed up and how he got out of it, or hindsight, armchair quarterbacking, he should have done this. Having a network of people is everything. That's one of the reasons that I started this Facebook page deal, was because I wanted to have people who I can put out there and be like, yeah, I ain't never done one of these things with a big old moose guard on it, how you do this, and have 10 different people from 5 separate companies pop in and tell me how they've done it. 2 of them I did not do, but the other 8 were correct and everything was good to go. I've had people who have put on there that they were stranded, and just happened to be that I was up at 2:30 in the morning because I was catching a flight, and I was able to talk them through how to fix their airlines and get going. I mean, having a network is key. Okay, next thing, hotels, points, airlines, points. These are all things that are very, very good for you. You may stay at hotels that are the cheaper ones, like a Motel 6, but they don't have a point system, and you could stay at a Super 8 for $5 more, and after 5 nights you get one free, so you would save like $30. What I do is I get points at the cheap ones, and I use them for the expensive ones. Like I was in Plattsburgh, New York, and I pulled in there, and it was like $170 per hotel, but I had a free night, so it didn't matter if it was $170. I was good to go. See, we've got points, having a network, tools. Oh my gosh, tools. It's a big thing. I had somebody tell me a story of how they went out and they didn't have a 5mm Allen key to be able to, because Peterbilts were starting to use these red plugs, and it was a 5mm Allen. And I thought, I better get one of those. Guess what? Kenworths are doing that now too. So you better get you a 5mm Allen. A lot of these guys have been doing this for a million years. They hadn't experienced that yet, but that one guy, he had. So, I carry a lot of tools. I carry more tools than I actually have to, but everything in my tool bag I have used. If you come experience it and you actually see like, oh, I should have that, or you hear somebody who tells you when they needed it. Like I've got 3 different crescent wrenches, because different sizes, and it works. I've got channel locks. I've got just things that I've needed over the last year, basically. Um, let's see. Okay. Flights. Okay. You always want to get the cheapest one, the latest that you can. For example, the other day I was flying out of Green Bay. I picked the 6 o'clock flight, and it was the last one out. I was going to have a 45-minute layover in O'Hare, and then I was gone. Well, I show up to the airport at 2:30. Turns out, no, I'm sorry, it's 1:30. Turns out, I had plenty of time just in case things went really, really south. The 11:30 was delayed by 3 hours, and it ended up taking off at 2:30. Well, I get in the airport, and they're like, yeah, we'll put you on the 3 o'clock, and then they realized that 3 o'clock was going to be later than heck, too. So they said, yeah, so about that, how about we go ahead and put you on this flight? We'll get you an exit row seat, and you can get there now. Well, I had to sit in O'Hare for 5 hours, drank a lot of beer, but still, I got there. So getting the last flight out is a good deal. Sometimes, though, it's just as easy to just get a hotel and just take the first one out in the morning, because the first one out spends the night there, so you're usually good to go. It's not really late by then. Although I have had one that was late and I missed connections, and it was a horrible, horrible day, and my bags didn't make it because they went to a different airport because I got rerouted. But my bags didn't end up getting rerouted because they were already scanned in, but blah, blah, blah. I got them 1,000 miles later in another town. That's a whole different story. Actually, that's already been on this YouTube channel. So, let's see. I've talked a lot about United Club. I save so much money. I guarantee you, if they actually had a running tab of what all I spend at United, in the United Club, whatever I consume, it may have cost me $650, but I guarantee you I'm at $6,500 by now. Because I fly a lot. I try to stay exclusively with United. But yeah, I'm definitely knocking down the miles and drink a lot of beer there. I gotta stop drinking so much beer. I'll be honest, I've got to. So, and plus I bring people in. It's just what I do. Okay, so there's that. I talked about on the podcast Rome to Rio, but I talked about having a network of people. And I've got a network of cash Ubers that I've used, and I've got guys all over this country that I've been able to call and say, hey, I got a guy over here, can you mind going and get him? And they're like, sure, no biggie, it'll be whatever, whatnot. I've also been stranded and not known how the hell I was going to get out of somewhere. Oh, back to hotels. Ubers are hard to get at 4 a.m. So I spend the extra money to get a hotel shuttle. That's why I usually stay at Marriott's and things like that, because they always have a hotel shuttle, because a lot of times the pilots are staying there too. I'm waiting on my Uber. I keep looking. She'll be here in a minute. Her name's Sarah. She's wonderful. She's in Missouri, but she'll drive to Kansas and get you. She'll drive to Oklahoma. She's actually taking me to Tulsa, Oklahoma now. There's just a lot of things I've learned, and a lot of things that I've learned not to do. Now, when I talk about having a network of people, you got to kind of feed them out there a little bit, because you may have these guys who they talk a lot of talk. Like, for example, there's a new generation of T680s. The old school method of undecking them works, but it might not. If they tell you, you just do it like a Freightliner, you're going to taco that bumper like it ain't nobody's business. If you do it and step down, yeah, that works. You still may hit a little bit, but you got to know who it's coming from. You got to kind of understand their experience before you take their advice. Because the guy giving you advice on the internet may not have your best interest at heart. He may be the guy who's really wanting you to screw up. So if he does, call that guy out. maybe a little, no, or don't, let's not call people out, but being private and be like, hey, that guy told me to do that. Don't do that. Here's what happened. I learned more by things going wrong. You tell me a story about something that went horribly wrong, I'm not going to do that again, and I'm going to keep it in the back of my head. So I don't want to get a leg crushed. I don't want to get my head crushed. I don't want to smash smashing watermelons because I'm an idiot. Man, I can imagine having a Z-bar drop on my knee because I was an idiot. But like I say, I'm going to get off here. This is rants long enough. It's a one-shot, one-trick pony. So, yeah. Laters. Y'all be good.